What is up, you beauties? My name is BatChatBegins, and welcome back to the channel. Today we'll be discussing all the new implementations and features that have come into World of Tanks Blitz thanks to the new update 8.0. And the first thing of note is the Yo line. Just look at all of these Yo tanks checking out the battlefield today, and the matchmaker is chock full of them. Nothing but M6 Yos, M5 Yos, and even in the lower tiers there are quite a few of these tanks hanging around the battlefield for you guys to take a look at and try and defeat in your average games. Today we're taking a look at a replay of Twali, or Two Lego Guys if you don't know him by that name, on Meadsy's stream. I will link his channel down in the description below, but we're just going to talk about some more of the changes that update 8.0 has brought us. But to briefly go over the Yo before we get into that, the thing has 10 degrees of gun depression, a pretty darn good turret and frontal armor. But you do have to watch out for how long the clip reload is on this thing. I believe it's around 22 seconds, and if you miss a shell or you potentially are getting into a brawling engagement, that long reload can leave you vulnerable for a very, very extended amount of time. So keep that in mind and try to survive. I personally don't have the tank quite yet. I'm looking forward to getting it, but I do know that if you're struggling to fight these things, I did bring out my E3 this morning thanks to a tip from one of my friends on the Void server, and it does a very good job at dealing with these things because not only can it HE the side, it has a lot of armor to go ahead and hold the line in case several of these things are rushing. So, just to get in more to the 8.0 side of things, of course they broadened out the Yo line. It's all the way from the tier 7, which branches off from the tier 6 M6, and all the way to the tier 10 M6 Yo. So you'll have basically 5 tanks to check out, and it will be very, very cool. Or 4 tanks to check out, my bad. They are bringing in the dynamic suspension, or have brought in the dynamic suspension, and it is working very, very well, making everything look a lot more realistic and making it look less like they half-assed, the track animation. So that is looking very nice. They've also introduced different PBR models. If you're wondering why your game might be loading in a little bit late, the PBR models are very, very high res. So sometimes the game might lag while it's loading in just a little bit. So if you're on your mobile devices, that could affect you a tad. The other thing I did want to say is, and I was testing it this morning because I was slightly confused, the weathering effects like the rain, not the rain, the mud, the dirt, the sand, and the snow, all the stuff that's supposed to get on your tank, that is only on the newer tanks, the Yo line, and the new tanks that they'll be introducing in this patch, including the Barask and the Kunzpanzer and stuff like that. Older tanks will not have it. And while that is a shame, and I'd really like to see a snow effect on my BatChat 25T, we're going to have to wait around a while for Wargaming to go ahead and make the coding for that. So a little unfortunate on that side, but still cool to see that they're implementing some different things with the weather. Other things that they're putting into the game, if you have a camouflage which is suited for a certain tank, it will be marked in the garage. They've gone ahead and mentioned that in the update right there in your homepage under the news tab. So if you have a camo and you didn't know which tank it was for, now it's highlighted for you. They're also going to go ahead and make sure that the TVP camo is fully available for purchase in the store. So if you haven't grabbed yourself the legendary camo for the TVP, it is available now. Now on the balance side of things, they have introduced a couple of balance changes this patch. The 44 T54, 44-100, and the 54 First Prototype, or Mod 1 as it's also known as, will be getting some buffs. All of the guns will be getting a pin buff from 175mm to 180mm. And then the 44-100 is going to get an engine power boost, as well as the 54 Mod 1 is going to be getting a power boost. That's going to bring up their effective power to weight ratio just a little bit, but it's probably not going to affect those tanks an incredible amount. Also, just want to pause and say, as you can see, the M60 did track the Yo there, but because of the unique tracking mechanic of the Yo tanks, they are able to keep their momentum while reversing for a short period of time instead of losing all the momentum and staying still. On the nerf and buff side of things, the Centurion Mark 1 is going to get a bit of a turret buff, going from 165 to 175 on the top of the turret. The Pershing is going to get a slight reload buff and a turret armor buff. The T-28, the Tier 8 American Tank Destroyer, is going to see some really big buffs this patch. It's going to be getting a 230 cabin armor change, which I'm not really sure what they mean by that, but we'll have to take a look at it in-game at some point. If you want to see a review on that, do let me know. The upper glass display is going from 203 to 220, which is going to make this thing a lot more scary when you're looking at it while it is held down. But it is receiving a lower plate nerf, so you can see there are like trade-offs between the two things. So with that being said, the T-25-2, the tank that goes into the T-28 prototype, is going to be receiving a DPM buff, getting a 5.5 second reload instead of the old 5.7 second reload. The Churchill gun carrier is getting buffed and the BDR is getting buffed, but we'll talk about those a different time. Now, sort of getting into what's coming, what will be coming during the next few patches. Well, they do have a lot of information about that. The Batchat, it's hard to kind of say this name, the Batchatillon Barrasque, the Tier 8 light tank, will be coming, and man, let me tell you, I've seen the stats, guys. It looks great. I am really looking forward to this tank. And also, they have the Kunstpanzer coming along with the event as well. So you'll be able to get yourself a free Tier 7. It doesn't look fantastic, but it is going to be quite fun, in my opinion. And you'll also be able to get yourself a Derp Panzer V, I believe it is. So hopefully we'll be seeing the return of that, which would be really, really nice. So there's a lot to look forward to. I'll have some new videos out about the upcoming tanks soon. But let me know how you guys are enjoying the new Yo line. And if you have any replays, make sure to send them in to me. I'll make sure they get featured here on the channel if they are worth it. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. My name is Batchat Begins. All relevant links will be down in the description. And I will see you guys in the next one.